away tonight.
The shot was after the bell.
I dropped Lewis, I beat him up, and I was getting a knockout.
Look, that's not the way I want to win a fight.
I've got to be honest with you, I want to see it again.
Alright people, it's actually crazy, we're 7 days away from Canelo Crawford. 7 days away. And recent clips of Terence Crawford have been doing the rounds. Now, Terence Crawford showed a couple of clips of him about a week or so ago where he was looking, he's always in good shape. But he was looking in good shape. He was looking noticeably bulkier. He was looking noticeably bigger. Like what you would expect, he would be. You know, he's going up in weight. He's going up by a fair bit of weight. He's going up by over a stone. So, yeah, you would expect him to look, you know, pack on a little bit more size. Nothing crazy, thank God, because you'd be more worried if he came in, you know, in some pictures and he was looking like Mr. Universe or something like that, you know, jacked to all hell. You'd be like, what the hell? No, but he is looking very big, and he is looking, if I do say so, formidable in that shape he's in. He really is. Terence Crawford is 37 years old. He don't look 37 at all. And I guess some people would say, like Alexander Usyk would tell you, 37, 38 is not old. And it's a very good example using Usyk, although he's a heavyweight, right? And Crawford obviously is fighting this fight at super middleweight. The two of them are very, very good friends. I think they played chess together and stuff like that. And Crawford is, well, he's very well schooled. He's very technically proficient. He can switch hits seamlessly. He's an extremely talented fighter, Terence Crawford. But it seems to me, although Crawford is looking in just phenomenal shape, it obviously shows that this fight means a great deal to him. And it's not, obviously it's going to mean a great deal to him, but this is the fight he's wanted. You know, this is a guy who, when he beat Errol Spence, he had the world at his feet. He fought Israel Madrimov, but this was the only fight that he really wanted after that. You know, there was talk of boots, there was talk of this, there was talk of that. No, it was Canelo. This is a guy who has been yearned for this fight. And, it, you know, you'd say maybe he's only been yearning for it over the last year or so. I don't know about that. I think that Terence Crawford, because you got to figure it, right? When Terence Crawford was fighting at welterweight, when he beat Jeff Horn, Errol Spence was IBF champion at the time. And Errol Spence would go on to obviously beat Mikey Garcia. It was around about that time that there was like little whispers here and there, because Canelo was still kind of going between middleweight to super middleweight before he ended up just going full-time to super middleweight. But there was a couple of whispers here and there about Errol Spence maybe potentially fighting Canelo at some point, because that was the thing. You know, people forget. We talk about Terence Crawford, Canelo. Errol Spence versus Canelo at one stage, and obviously, you know, ifs and buts, and you can't go back. We don't have a time machine, unfortunately. You can't go back and change the past. Had that car crash not happened, I probably think we would have got that fight, because it would have been a mega fight. It would have been a super fight, because Errol Spence was a big name. At the time, Crawford was really only really known to kind of more the casual audience. You know, you had Bob Arum with those, you know, derogatory comments about how the amount of houses in California I could buy with the amount of money I've lost on Terence Crawford, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I'm sure Crawford seeing that, and seeing the fact that Spence was linked with Canelo, there was talk, could we get Canelo Spence, could we get this? He would have been thinking, now hang on a minute, we've got welterweights here, we've got contemporaries. I want that fight. So I would imagine he's been looking at Canelo potentially for years. And again, I'm not going back on my pick. I ain't doing it. But seeing the shape he's in, seeing the fact that he's clearly not, like, he's put on some muscle, yeah, but he's not gone overboard, which is good. And, you know, again, I draw the comparisons with Usyk. He's clearly focusing on what's going to work for him and amplifying his strengths, all the while adding on a little bit of size as well. You know, Alexander Usyk has done that. You know, when he moved up to heavyweight, he was, what, 215 there or thereabouts in his first fight against Chez Witherspoon at the 210s. He's gradually, obviously with age, but he's gradually found a weight that works for him. He's now in the 220s, in the mid 220s, whereas close at his weigh-in, so you'd say kind of mid 224, 225 there, thereabouts. So he's found a weight that works for him, where he's able to retain all of the good stuff that he had at cruiserweight. He's able to have more strength at heavyweight, but he's not sacrificing anything. You know, you see these guys, Lawrence Okolie, I'm going to use him as an example, right? Is Lawrence Okolie looking a bit more entertaining at heavyweight? Yeah, he is. Is he looking a harder puncher? Well, he was always a hard puncher, but yikes, he's in the 260s. You know, how is he going to be down the stretch in a fight if it's in a really grueling fight, not like the last fight he was in? Is he going to have the same, coordination if he's in there with someone who can move, Even if he is 260, if someone wraps him up, big, strong heavyweight like Daniel Dubois, who he might be outweighing, but, is he going to have the same strength? Probably not. So he's losing some of the things that were good about my cruiserweight now that he's putting on all that weight. Usyk hasn't done that. And I think it's the same for Terence Crawford. I think it is the same for him. I think he will have a lot of advantages that he had at welterweight. He'll be bringing them up, or 154 pounds as well. He'll be bringing them up to super middleweight without blowing it for himself by putting on too much unnecessary size. Because at the end of the day, you put on all that size, your body's not designed to carry that. Canelo's body is. He's always going to be. Crawford's a very physically strong guy. He's always going to be stronger, Canelo Alvarez. There's just no two ways about it. He is just. And even go back maybe 10 years, and that was when Canelo was fighting that Canelo weight, 155 pounds. You had fighters complimenting him on his physical strength, saying they couldn't believe just how physical, how strong he was. I remember that was a big thing about Canelo back in the day, just how strong he was. The punching power was good, the combination punching was good, but he had physical strength. You're never going to match Canelo physically. It's just not going to happen. You don't want to be bullied by him, and I think that he looks in such good shape that I don't think he necessarily will be, but I think he is hitting in with a lot of his strengths with how he's looking. I think he looks phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. But, there is a but, I said this about Dylan White. It is a bit different, but, I said it the same at the time. Boxing is, it's not a physique show. If that was the case, then AJ would be undisputed heavyweight champion of the world twice over, and probably only twice over because he just decided to vacate it so he could win it again. Sort of way. There are probably some journeymen at 154, 160 pounds that are cut like granite, and they couldn't take a punch, they couldn't throw a punch to save their lives, but they look good. They look good aesthetically. It's not about a beautiful competition at the end of the day. It's, are you the better fighter? Are you the better boxer? Are you the better fighter? Do you have the better chin? Etc, etc, etc. So as good a shape as Crawford is in, and he's always in good shape, I still can't look past what Canelo brings to the table in this fight. I just can't do it. So for me, it's still a Canelo win. But we'll talk about that more in a prediction video, because we do have to go and look at this fight objectively, and I am, as I said in several videos, I will be disappointed for the loser because I like them both very much. Love Terence Crawford. Absolutely love Terence Crawford, one of my favourite fighters. So for him to lose, that would actually hurt. It would. So when I do this prediction video tomorrow, we're going to really go in depth. So I hope you look forward to that. In terms of everything else, I hope you enjoyed it, people. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. People, until next time.